Alright guys, let's do a video real quick of how to change out the steering gearbox on an 01 F-150. And this is a 4-wheel drive. First thing I did, took the steering shaft loose. It's a 13 millimeter, and I got up here in front of the front differential. I used a 3/8 long extension to get up there to it from underneath. Maybe easier if you got a lift. Once I broke that loose, I broke the nut loose on the pitman arm, and then I had to use a pitman arm puller to knock it loose. You could probably take a hammer and break it loose. Depends how old it's been on there for. I have replaced this at one time. A couple years ago I made a video of replacing the front suspension on this truck, but I did have to press it off using that puller. I will have to reuse this pitman arm, so I will have to pull it off this gearbox. What was going on with this gearbox, I forgot to tell that at the beginning, but it had a lot of slop, so it was shaking back and forth. I mean, it had the slop going down the road, and it was just swaying all over the place. And this truck's going to be my 16-year-old truck, so I want this fixed. I was used to driving it, but yeah, it was wore out, and it was one of the things that needed to be replaced. And so anyways, once you drop that steering shaft, break the pitman arm loose, there's 3 bolts that hold on the gearbox right there, and they are 14 millimeter. Break those loose, and I was able to drop the gearbox down and get to my lines here, and I broke them loose. Make sure you use a line wrench, because if you don't use a line wrench, you take the chance of rounding out one of these fittings. If you're unsure what a line wrench is, that's a line wrench. This is just a cheapie from the local parts store, which it's pretty heavy duty, pretty strong. I had it for 6 months or so now. It's done pretty good. Part 2, I'm sorry I had it in the video. I'll see if I can add this video to the other video, but the phone died off. I don't have much battery left here, but we got it back up there. Pitman arm, like I said, I already replaced this at one time, so I reused this one because it was still good. The bushing was still good, or the ball joint was still good. I ended up threading my lines on first, leaving them loose so I can move it around to where I needed to move it around to. Now, me and my son did this the same. He helped me line the bolts up. Now, you can probably do it yourself. I was going to put it on a jack and try to hold it up there, and while I fed the bolts through. But you got to get the steering shaft on, and then you got to make sure you clock this box right. What I did is I turned it all the way one way, and then count the number of turns, and then went back. It was about a turn and a half, and then it equaled to be in the middle of the gearbox. So I still got to put fluid in this. It is a whole lot tighter. It still has a little slop, but the slop is in the shaft itself, it looks like. But all in all, it says about 2 hours on the box, the instruction box. It probably took about 2 hours doing it, and of course I was doing some other things too. And with me laying on the ground doing it and my son helping, I was trying to let him learn how to do this too, so he can take over it, doing the maintenance on his own vehicles and learn some. So anyways, this gearbox, the local parts store matched it about 140 bucks. You can buy it on Amazon. I can put the link in the description here. This one has a core charge of $100 from the local parts store. I don't know if the one online did, but I got to run it back to the parts store to get it, and I got to get some more fluid to fill the power steering reservoir back up, and then I'll prime the system. Well, it's already primed. Fill the system and work the air out. All in all, it wasn't too bad. Pretty simple job. Oh yeah, I had to remove my skid plate too. So my skid plate, two-wheel drive may not have it. I'm not sure, I'm not positive. With 4-wheel drive, I had to take the skid plate off so I can pull it out here through the front. But pretty simple job. You can do it from your house using this normal power tools or hand tools. 14 millimeter, and that was a 13 millimeter, and then a 16 millimeter line wrench, and it pretty much drops on out. So anyways, save you guys some dollars and do it yourself. It's a pretty simple job. I started this morning at 9 o'clock and we were done pretty much by 11 o'clock. And that was messing around doing some other little things with my other kid. So if any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and good luck.